Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I am your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area. We get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, what is Death Stranding? And of course, as always, to co-host with me, Gooch Trio.
What's going on, Gooch? How are you?
I'm good. What's been up? What's new? What's
you know,
playing?
man, same old, same old. Just more Red Dead per usual. I literally have not stopped playing that. I think.
So I jumped back in for the first time in the campaign.
Yeah.
Since I don't think I've. Yeah, we haven't. I don't think we've.
I know. I've been your compendium for when you need.
Yeah, I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but I'm playing the story again after beating it and literally just putting it down.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. Kind of trying to 100% it, get all the achievements.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
I fucking love that game so much. I really do.
I'm doing the same thing with Spider-Man, essentially.
Same. Yeah.
New Game Plus on Superior, and you know what? That game, the replay, doesn't do anything for me.
Really? Because I really like the second one.
I like seeing the new suits as I'm playing,
Yeah.
and the suits I haven't used, and just the cutscenes again. But like story-wise and gameplay, like I have no want to do anything but the main mission.
Interesting. I went through and did everything again because I just beat it again for the second time. I even went through and did like the bullshit ones
like a full 100%.
I mean, I'm like at 99% again already.
Oh, okay.
Because
So, yeah.
So like basically, I just have to finish some of the crimes, but I will say I think the superior mode adds a lot to that, especially you're in the earlier areas of the game, right?
No, I just finished the raft. So
Okay. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
all right, so you are blowing through.
Dude, it's easy.
Once Sable people start coming in and everything, it gets fucking hard. I
haven't really fought Sable.
Have you done any, like, the... Okay.
Plus, I'm not doing the side content.
I was going to say, like, I was trying to do some of the Sable, like, outposts. I was getting fucked up. Like, it definitely makes it a lot tougher in some areas. But, dude, just moving around in that game is so much fun, and seeing Homecoming really kind of was the thing that drove me to get back into it.
Far from them, but yeah, that's exactly why I started up. I was like, oh, I'll finish this. Like, I put it aside and started back up.
I've been playing actually the Ghost Survivor stuff on Resident Evil, which is, dude, it's fucking hard. So like, I'm getting through the one mission where you're playing as the gunsmith, and like I've died like I don't even know how many times, and I finally get to the end and I see on the map where the helicopter is. I'm like, oh, okay. I got past everything. I got a good amount of ammo. I just got to go down this hallway. I turn the hallway. There's at least 8 zombies and then 2 of the fucking Venus flytrap people. And they kill you in one fucking shot. They're not like the other zombies that bite you and you can kind of get away. Fucking hard.
And all those Survivor missions are like pretty different, right?
No, yeah,
I know Hunks is like pretty like you're just running and gunning.
That's it. Yeah. And then there's one that's like the Forgotten Soldier, which is like... it's a little bit more slower, and then one where you play as a girl, you don't even have a weapon to start. I actually didn't do that one yet.
Daughter.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, I know. I'm just like, I know that.
That even like I sent a Snapchat to D&D the other day, and it was like you can just wear a live raccoon on your head as one of the accessories.
And then there's a tofu skin, but that was in the original.
Yes.
I think it's a.
It is in the new one too.
It's a mission. No, I know it is, but I think it's like a separate thing.
I think you have to. Yeah, you have to beat the game in a certain way. I think then that unlocks that mode, and you can't hurt anything, but you just take a lot of damage while you're the tofu. Yeah, you're just like a block of tofu.
Yeah.
Those games, dude. We say it all the time. They look so good. I just don't understand how the character models and everything look as good as they do in those games.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Can't wait to play it. October.
Dude, a lot of fun.
I've been looking out for it when it's on sale.
Definitely.
Last night I watched Anthony Jeselnik's new stand-up.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good. You know, like he does a very different like way of delivering his like comedy set in this special. Mm-hmm. It's very much just like one-off random jokes, except for like a through line of children.
Yeah.
Children seems to be the main focus.
Well, I think it's the name of it's Fire in the Maternity Ward, right? Yeah. He's definitely a comic you're going to like or hate, for sure.
I love it.
I know, and I enjoy it.
He's just just absolutely savage about everything.
Everything, yeah.
So stone cold. I think he's really funny.
He owns that branch of comedy.
Yeah,
he really does.
He has 2 stand-ups on Netflix. I kind of wish he had more. I would love to see him though.
Yeah, I think he probably rolls through Philly at some point. I want to see.
I was talking to Matt. I was like, I wonder if he's like touring. He's like, of course he is. I was like, well, I don't know.
And like, I would love to see like, what's his name if he came through? Oh, how am I forgetting his name? Oh, John Mulaney. He's like, I would love to see him.
Yeah.
Also, Theo Von, you ever watch him at all?
Mm-mm.
He's funny as hell. He's like kind of a redneck dude. It's hilarious. He's been on Joe Rogan and all that stuff before, but definitely worth the look up. Yeah, comedy specials are cool. It's funny. It's something I don't even think to talk about often because they're good little.
I literally just watched it last night, so I figured I'd say something about it. And we have been watching Stranger Things season 3, and if you tune in after this podcast, we'll be reviewing that.
Yeah. Also,
by the time this is up, actually no, this will go up first, so it may or may not be up. But just look on on the the up and up for it. Stranger Things season 3, hot take.
Sure,
coming at you soon or now.
Yeah, I know we've both been watching Swamp Thing as well. You're a little bit more warm or what's the word I'm looking for? Lukewarm on it than me. Yeah. But I've been really enjoying that so far.
I haven't watched this week's.
This week's was it was good. Some shit hit the fan for sure.
Sure.
But so I'm actually excited to see what you think.
There's a lot of shit hitting fans in that show. Very grotesque fans.
Yes, that is a true horror superhero show like I've never seen before. Highly recommend it.
So, this podcast has been on the docket for quite some time.
Almost a year, I want to say.
We haven't really talked about Death Stranding except for maybe if there was a trailer at the Game Awards or something.
We've talked
and
about
we brought it up, or I don't know, when it occasionally comes up in a side conversation, but yeah, I'm really excited to actually just talk about this at a very grand scale. So pretty much what we were waiting for was gameplay, and with the most recent trailer from a little bit before E3, we kind of got that. Yeah. It's not it's huge gameplay, but it's enough.
You see the HUD, you see what's going on.
I think you can get a very easy gist of what exactly that's going to be.
Sure.
So we're going to start by talking about gameplay. Great segue, Anthony. Thanks. Death Stranding is going to be in the Decima engine, which is running, if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, you played in that engine. It's by Guerrilla Games.
Okay.
So Kojima pretty much, once he started developing Death Stranding, he was, looking for an engine. And I guess something similar to Fox. So Fox engine, it was the engine Metal Gear Solid was made on. I'm pretty sure every iteration was the Fox engine. I could be wrong.
Just an updated
versions of it. Yeah. But MGS5 is the Fox engine. That's the most recent example. And
great engine.
I think anyone can tell you MGS5's gameplay is
it's
fucking
taut.
Out of this
It's
world.
very taut. It's amazing. I've never played a game. I said this before. Not hot on Metal Gear Solid story, but that gameplay loop I did for hours and hours and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. So yeah, Kojima essentially went around to, I don't know if it's just Sony exclusive studios, but I assume probably other companies.
Sure.
I'm sure he went to Epic for Unreal or whatever, or looked at them. But he settled on the Decima engine, so that is what Death Stranding is going to be in. And it seems, if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a third-person action game. He's coming from making third-person action games for the most part.
Yep.
It makes sense from the gameplay we've seen. It looks
for sure
like Death Stranding looks a lot like MGS5. And I think that's a good thing. Because that's what Kojima's used
Honestly,
to
if
doing.
You told me it was the same engine, I would have been okay.
Yeah,
but it's obviously not.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about a lot of, big idea concepts. Because Kojima is literally all about big idea concepts in this game. So, one of the first things you kind of see in the trailer, the most recent trailer, if you're, curious as to what we're talking about, you can probably follow along if you want, but we see some gameplay of Sam kind of in the environment, which we don't really know what the environment or the world is. We'll talk about the setting later,
they do say America at some point.
We are in the US this whole time. So one of the things Kojima talks about a ton is traversal using ropes and ladders, which you see. You literally see Sam put up these big ladders to traverse these cliffs. And
cross a ravine or something.
Yeah, and he's using these pins with ropes to go down.
Climbing gear, basically.
And so Kojima, and also there's something to do with the we see a part where there's some enemies fighting with some spears, but this is a tweet from Kojima that kind of backs up his reasoning for influencing the combat and the gameplay the way he did. So direct quote, and it's his English can always be a little weird.
Well, because it's a translation.
Yeah. So the first tool that man invented was a stick to push away the bad ones. The next tool was a rope, so as was said. In the video game industry, we can only jump to move oneself up and down, and the first tool used was a ladder and then a rope. So was said. And I'm just these top level Kojima insights. I love it. It just seems very cool because I think this game is supposed to be very
cerebral?
Not that, but I want to say native, primal, very
it's almost man starting over again.
Exactly.
No,
yes.
You're starting
and I think
from the
that's
beginning.
what he's trying to convey. like, okay, you get to use guns in the game.
Sure.
The enemies, well, we see Higgs does, Troy Baker's character has a gun, but we haven't seen, like, I guess, like, the normal people with guns just yet. Yeah. But they have spears, which is, like, you know, in itself,
it's very primitive,
weapon. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really cool that he's kind of, like, tapping into that, and, like, but, like, it's not just the design choice, it's like a it
influences his story as well as the gameplay.
Exactly.
And that's, and it's funny because that seems to be what he really is aiming for here, whereas, like, I didn't feel like in Metal Gear Solid the story was influencing the gameplay as much.
Can be like that. MGS2 is really like that. MGS5 I wouldn't say is like...
Yeah.
It has its moments, but like this game seems to be like baked within this like... in like Kojima's fucking mind, where like he's really... like
he's been thinking about this for a while
and going at these high level concepts that do require a lot of thought and a lot of process to kind of like understand, but I'm sure like once you get into the game, like you don't really need to understand those concepts and themes to get what's going on.
I hear you. So you don't think that would be an issue if that's lost on someone? They're just kind
I'm sure it's gonna be, but like it's guns and spears and ropes and ladders. Like what? It's not
exactly. It's a video game, and it looks cool. It really like from the gameplay. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is different. It's not like something I feel like I've definitely seen before.
Yeah, and something you definitely have seen before is Eagle Vision and Detective Mode, which it looks like we're gonna get through through the bridge baby, which is the baby that's strapped to Sam's chest, which we don't really know much about. Which
connects you to the other side or something. He says or something like that.
So the bridge baby seems to be like we'll talk about it more, but it seems to be the connection to the Death Stranding. That's what, like, Troy Baker's character is calling it, but, like, I'm not... like, the other side is Death Stranding. I'm not sure, but they have something to do with each other. But there is, like, another, like, dimension going on here that the babies seem to have some sort of connection to.
Or maybe it's just... is it any... I wonder if it's specific babies or if it's just... as if it's a baby.
True.
Like, if it's... as long as they...
Because we don't know how these babies are... coming about.
Like if, if when you're a baby in this universe you have the connection to that universe, so they use you as a bridge baby, or if it's just certain children that can only have that connection. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I don't think actually I've ever even thought about where these babies come from. I've literally never even thought about it.
And like, are they just always babies? Like, that's
I mean, like we see one specific baby in the trailer, and it's the one that Cliff, Mads Mikkelsen's character, is talking to. But we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not sure if the Eagle Vision or Detective Mode in this game is supposed to be detect items, but you can detect the BTs, which are called beached things, which we'll go into later as I talk about it, but it's those shadow things. Mm-hmm. It's the enemies that you don't seem to be able to fight.
Yeah, you just have to run away from.
Yeah, so we talked about the very MGS5-like. There are some vehicles. We see the motorcycle, which looks like we're going to be able to customize it, put some decals on
cool.
it, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are, like, cars, but we don't know if they're, like, literally
drivable. Yeah, I'm curious to see how many different vehicles or like ways to move about the environment there.
Yeah, again, very MGS5-like.
And it seems like it's very vertical from what I saw, that video you sent me. Like, he's like, you see this mountain in the distance, you can climb that shit. Like, go up there,
the snow example was great because we don't really see that snow environment too much. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah.
Like you can climb up, and even like, that's something I do like that a lot of games have gotten to these. One thing I love about Odyssey is you can climb anything, and even I hear Zelda is that's the big thing too for Breath of the Wild. Like, I love being able to
tapping into that vein.
Yeah, like I see that mountain over there, I'm gonna get all the way to the top. I don't have to find the fucking like playing like an Elder Scrolls when you couldn't find the path up the mountain that you had to take, so you just were like fucking. I really like the verticality that I'm hearing about.
And I'm curious what else are actually in the open world, how big it is. Are there different,
seems to be wildlife of some sort.
Take Horizon's open world, it's literally all connected. Are we going to be able to, like, leave that area and then go to another open world? Like, how exactly is that?
Yeah, I'm curious. Work? I mean, I'd assume it's something along the lines of what we've got in traditional open world games in the way if we just have that map, but I don't know. Honestly, unless you go to different locations of some sort, because I mean, it seems to be. He says in the trailer you're connecting America. So what does that mean? Are you literally going across all of America? Like, am I going to California from from
you're definitely going west. So,
yeah,
the game, obviously, you're in the Oval Office in the trailer.
Yeah.
And, you're definitely going west. So, yeah, I would assume we're out.
Yeah.
Towards, Nevada, maybe Mid-America. We don't really know.
Because it looks, from just all the landscape, it looks like Rocky Mountain Range almost type of, I don't even know.
Sort of jumping ahead, so we've already talked about the setting being post-apocalyptic U.S. Something's happened. Something, really paradimensional has occurred.
It's not like a natural disaster. It's not like a meteor hit the Earth or there was a gigantic earthquake or something. It seems very supernatural-ish or whatever. Yeah, paranatural.
Yeah, and a lot of the references that you're seeing with the environment comes from Iceland. Kojima went, and you can find this on Twitter pretty easily. While he was making PT, he went to Iceland and took a lot of pictures and tweeted a lot of them. And a lot of them, a ton of them, correspond with either the environments we've seen in this recent trailer or the first teaser trailer when he's on that beach. The black sand and just the coloring, it's
very
what
Icelandic.
Iceland is. And I mean that's pretty cool. And as well, he's also the band who does some of the themes in the first teaser trailer as well as the second trailer with Guillermo del Toro. Low Roar is an Icelandic band.
Interesting.
And I'm not he has a connection to them and they're
he must like it. Yeah,
they're in cahoots, but other than that, we really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, I do love that type of environment is really important in a game to where it can't be understated enough. If this world doesn't look real or lived in, even I have a really tough time of feeling like I have a real connection to it. It seems like this is going to be a post-apocalyptic world. I'm curious to see what a city looks like.
But it almost is like Alien.
It doesn't it doesn't. America. Well, because even I saw the things where it's upside down rainbows or something like that.
Yeah.
Things there has been something severely catastrophic that if we are on Earth has rendered Earth almost
unlivable.
Unlivable and unrecognizable.
Because we're told about some cities. One of them is Edge Knot City.
Yeah.
But we don't see any cities.
No, we haven't.
We're we see facilities, but we don't see any towns. But there are towns apparently.
I assume they're holding. Yeah, he's just been holding that. They've been holding.
Oh
that
they're with the game with all the trailers. He's definitely holding a bunch back.
And again, I think. I love what he's done with this game and the hype he's built up with some people. But we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I do think there would have almost been even more of a hype behind this. If, obviously we knew he was working with Sony on an exclusive. We knew that happened after he left Konami. If they dropped, a trailer for this last year at E3, out of nowhere, we didn't know much about it, and then they're next year this is coming out.
See,
you don't think it would have been even more hype?
It's just not his style, and I don't think Kojima could hold himself for that long and not say a fucking word.
Because just for a normie like me, I just see all this stuff coming out. When I'm okay, cool, this looks cool, but what are we doing? What's going on here?
Kojima talks about it a lot and tweets and talks about his everyday work, kind of
his
what's
process.
Going on.
Yeah.
Not even and sometimes it's just random shit. He's with Mads Mikkelsen today, or he's doing this, and I don't think he'd be able to shut his mouth.
He is a very cinematic focused game director. It seems
100%.
So much more than even he takes so many things from movies and inspirations. Even I did when they brought up the Mad Max parallel in the video that you sent me. I was oh, that's interesting. That's very much. That's totally.
If you haven't seen or know about
cool.
Python Selkin, look him up. He does some sick, and I mean some fucking absolutely fantastic Death Stranding, PT, Silent Hills, PT, Silent Hills, and Silent Hill, and MGS theories that are just fucking top level. The guy does a great job. Shout out to him. That's the video Trio was talking about. Kind of analyzing the trailer, which is the most latest video he has out. But yeah, I just don't Kojima has his own process, and it's I wouldn't say it's unique to him. Other companies have released trailers for games way ahead of time.
No, it's true, and I guess I feel I just think usually most of the time that hasn't worked out well for most things. But it seems this is going to be fine. Obviously he's on a pedigree that he's going to make a fine, fun game. But it's just curious to me, and even there is this whole fog in the game industry. We know that Suicide Squad is being made. Movie industry is so much different of. We basically know off the bat when a next sequel for something is being made. Whereas in the game industry, a lot of people love to hold it close to the vest. Like, even Red Dead Redemption 2, they never officially...
But Rockstar's like a different breed.
Exactly.
Like, it's really weird how, like, there's no one at Rockstar who is the face of Rockstar.
Well, there's the brothers that run it, but they never do interviews or anything.
Yeah, it's really strange, because, like, Kojima, it was a face for MGS, even when he was at Konami.
Yeah, like, they rarely like having even people in their office and stuff, too. Like, it's... I can't remember the brothers' names. Daniel Radcliffe made a movie. He starred as one of them. Or maybe it didn't get made, because I remember he was hired. They are a whole different... It is interesting. But, like, we knew... Like, even Grand Theft Auto 6. No one's telling us that that's blatantly happening. We know that's happening. I don't know. Maybe I've been set up this way in the gaming industry where I see that happen and I'm like, oh, I don't think that's a good thing. But it could totally not hurt at all in this situation.
So the last thing I had to talk about, I guess, in the gameplay, at least what I've done in my outline, is weather systems. And the reason I bring it up is because in the trailers, we've been introduced to this concept called the timefall. Mm-hmm. The timefall essentially is rain that accelerated ages everything, but also, like, accelerated aging not everything that's there. Like, you see it a lot in the trailers. When it rains, things are born and die and are born again. Yeah. Like grass. Grass is, like, the easiest example to take. Where, like, the grass literally, like, it's just dirt. And then the grass grows and it dies. And it grows and it dies. Like, it's... So, like, how's this going to affect gameplay? Because we know that, like, Die Hardman, right? No. Yes. Wait. Yes. The guy with the mask. He tells Sam, he's like, yeah, not even like the homo demons are gonna mess with the timefall. Like, you can see, like, everyone's wearing
people aren't
outfits that cover their entire body, because in case timefall happens, like, if you know, it hits Sam's hand in one of the trailer and it ages like one part of his hand. And you see in the trailer from the last Game Awards trailer we got, the one of the guys, like, totally ages.
Yeah, like, he just I think I remember that, actually.
Yeah, the dude gets carried away.
And he starts.
Yeah, like, that dude totally. I think that's Yuri Lowenthal too.
Really,
the voice actor. Yeah, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, like, he becomes old.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, like, how is that going to affect gameplay, if at all? Like, obviously it has a lore component, but, like, is it going to play in the gameplay?
I mean, it seems like you're going to have all these different things to be dealing with in the open world, be it the demon things or the timefall or even just regular wildlife. Like, I'm wondering if there's going to be, like, you see deer and whatever while you're running in the open world. Are there bears? Like, are there, like, predator animals? Are there predatory animals? Like,
we see the timefall affect like a crow or like a raven or something. It literally like decomposes. Yeah, like falls out of the sky. It's pretty crazy shit. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, like, one thing I didn't write down. I'm curious how the open world is going to be populated. Like, what's going to be interactable in the environment. And I hope it's not too much, and I don't think it will be.
I mean, even like that. I'm curious how much of a survival element will be in it as well, because I saw the one thing where you have to piss. I was like...
Yeah, there's one... I left it out because, like, I didn't even understand it. There's, like some sort of mechanic of, like, urinating, and also we see in the trailer...
he's drinking water at some point.
He's drinking water, he takes a shower, he rips his toenail off in the shower. There's definitely some survival mechanics that we don't really know about that I just don't feel comfortable talking about because we don't really have, like...
But it's even, like, it's funny...
about.
Like, that's gonna be crazy. Like, you're worrying about your liquids and you gotta take a piss. If you're like I thought Red Dead's was a little in depth. Like, oh, my guy's getting a little hungry. I should maybe take a bath or something. This seems like it's gonna be really even more so possibly dependent on your health. But obviously we don't know. This is pure speculation. That's an interesting thought, though. And it's funny. I kind of like those things sometimes where I'm really in the nitty gritty of trying to survive in a game. But I get a lot of people obviously don't like that too. So that's interesting.
So next up I want to talk about some sort of, like, top level things. With Silent Hills being canceled, there's definitely a lot of connections between Death Stranding and Silent Hills. And that's obvious just by Norman Reedus being in the game and Guillermo del Toro when they were in Silent Hills. Mm-hmm. And then Metal Gear, there might be less, and I don't think we'll be able to pick them out now, but, like, PT had even some Metal Gear Solid, like, vibes, theories happening where, like, oh, this is very, like this is comparison to this character in MGS. But one big thing is Junji Ito. Junji Ito is a manga writer in Japan, and he writes, like, really... Like, you can Google him right now, and you'll see, like, some really weird...
Like, just horror,
like, manga. And, like, that's what he does. He helped Kojima with stuff in Silent Hills. and
like art direction.
He's working with him on Death Stranding to some capacity.
Okay.
So like he's still like tapping into these connections he had. Funny, we're talking about connections. This whole thing's about connections. Tapping into these connections that he formed when he was making PT, and like I think like pretty much everyone.
Yeah,
not even his team, but like just like these special people. Like he literally re-obtained Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro.
Well, it seemed they obviously had a friendship level connection. It's not like Konami.
That's all the people he knows.
It's obviously like, Konami. Yeah. Like Konami didn't own Norman. He's like, yeah, I'm having my own thing now. You want to come work on this game with me? Norman Reedus was like, fuck yeah. And even like. Yeah, that makes total sense to me that he would bring all these people back and on anyone who's his friend anyways.
Yeah. But like Death Stranding isn't a horror game, and Kojima's made that very apparent. He's like, it's kind of like a thriller, but like it's not like PT.
Sure.
It's not that kind of
horror. That game even still is so fucking unnerving.
Like when I play it, like I feel like I'm so into it. I forget it's scary. Like when we were playing it like 2 Halloweens ago, and I was having fun. Like no, it's fucking absolutely horrifying.
The way it builds tension just through its environment is something insane, and I haven't seen a horror movie or game in a while. But sorry.
Yeah. So next up is the thought of umbilical cords and connections. So we see in PT like one of the recordings on the radio. So it talks about how the guy killed his wife, and he says he uses a hose, and like he's like strangled himself and then killed himself and like killed his kids or whatever. And then like in a different message, it says he used an umbilical cord instead of a hose, which is very interesting. And there's also a dead baby, or not dead baby, but like a fetus in the sink. So there's a lot of like, I don't want to say fetal, but maybe that's the word. Like there's some like interesting like themes going on here, and between the umbilical cords, like. Literally connecting yourself to the BB, it looks like an umbilical cord. Like, and that's what it's supposed to symbolize. And like even the BTs are like connected through like these like literal like they might not be umbilical cords, but like there are threads like going
connect to each other. Yeah, they are all connected.
Connecting is a huge.
I wonder if they're like. I wonder if those things are like a hive mind type deal of like they all like basically. What's a movie? I'm trying to think.
I know what you mean by
yeah. They are just one being separated into many. That's interesting.
Yeah. But like, there's cords everywhere. Like even Mads Mikkelsen, when he first calls those soldiers up, they're all connected to him, like through like literal cords.
Yep.
And like whether they're umbilical cords or just like wires,
just connections.
It's like we don't really know, but like they're like between the literal version of connections and like the figurative sense, like. Got to look out for that. It's going to be very apparent, and I think like the more you notice that, it might like help figure out the game. But I think that's coming over from PT a lot. And then something that's a little more obvious that people might not notice. So in that photo, I guess it's Norman Reedus' or Sam's wife. Sure. We don't really know who this character is, but her face is blotched out, like you can't really see it, and she looks like Lisa from PT, and she's pregnant. They look very similar. And like I just thought that was kind of odd. Like it definitely was not.
They could have just.
It's definitely on purpose. Like he just
got the he just got the actress again too.
I don't think it's the actress, but like just the way she's in like a white gown. They're wearing the exact same thing. It's like.
I mean, it could again just be a nod, like that he's just.
But like if it's anything, it is a nod. But it's definitely just not done, not on purpose.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I wouldn't believe that.
He's leaving in a little Easter egg for the people who care about it, which that's cool.
I mean, just besides from the gameplay, like we're getting a lot of MGS vibes. In the trailers, I don't really see any of that, but like I'm sure we're gonna get some sort of MGS like callback or something. PT had like a very few ones that like if you were really trying to connect the dots, you could kind of like put something together. Like obviously it's like maybe that's not the case, but like they're very similar.
Sure.
But yeah, while you're playing this game, I think like you need to keep those things in mind and see what's kind of coming over from PT, especially since like I don't know how much.
You think you need that though to enjoy the game?
No, but like I think it's just an
extra add-on. Yeah, if you do appreciate that stuff.
Like I don't think anyone's ever. Well, I mean, Kojima hasn't really talked about PT since he left the project and stuff, and they canceled it. But like, how much of that game was actually done? I wonder.
Right? I don't know.
I never even thought about that.
I mean, they had a vertical slice for us. They had the demo, so you'd assume a good amount.
Like even the story too.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how much was done.
You'd think that was the first thing he worked out was the story. At least that's the. Do you think he works out in the? Let me rephrase this. Do you think he starts from the point of having a story or gameplay?
Story.
That's what I would assume as well. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting thought.
So we talked about settings, so we can skip over that. Which was, post-apocalyptic U.S. We're using Iceland as inspiration. That's really all we know. And we're going to talk about, so this is next is what is Death Stranding, talking about some high-level stuff. And I want to pronounce this word correctly. So you know the word crustacean?
Sure.
It's in the same, so it's Secedon or something? It's not...
Secedon? No.
You don't pronounce the A. It's you go right through it.
Satikian.
I'm trying to find pronounce
Katakian?
Wait, hold on. Here we go.
I can't even understand how.
Cetacean.
Cetacean. Oh, that makes total sense.
Let me mute the stream.
Cetacean stranding.
It's
known as beaching.
Hold on. Let me ready. This is how it's pronounced. Cetacean. I wouldn't pronounce it like that because it just doesn't look like
cetacean. No, I mean it makes once it makes total sense.
Because it's
but I couldn't get cetacean. I just
cetacean.
was trying to figure out how to say that. Let's see at the beginning.
Okay. So we see
now that's cleared up.
Cetacean stranding is a phenomenon. So I'm going to read what I got on Wiki because it's playing into Death Stranding, and we also see it in the first teaser trailer. So, commonly known as beaching is a phenomenon in which whales and dolphins strand themselves on land, usually on a beach. Beach whales often die due to dehydration, collapsing under their own weight, or drowning when high tide covers the blowhole. Several examples of why cetaceans strand themselves. So cetacean is like a dolphin or a whale. That's what they are. Like a crustacean is a crab.
Yeah.
So several explanations for why cetaceans strand themselves have been proposed, but none have so far universally accepted as a definitive reason for the behavior. A link between the mass beaching of beaked whales and use of mid-frequency active sonar, however, has been found. So I did some research Python Salcom talks about this a lot. The phenomenon of stranding is very unknown of why it happens.
Why what this is
why whales
beach themselves?
Yeah. It's very strange.
No, okay.
And kind of feeding into the Death Stranding. We see a bunch of crabs and shit in that trailer.
Yeah.
And literally all these dolphins and whales
it's almost beached. Why are they going to kill them? It's almost like they'd have to do that on purpose, right? People can't even figure it out.
Are they being think about if someone hacked into their mind and just forced them to go to land and for them to fucking kill themselves.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that feed into Death Stranding, not only literally, but the BTs stand for beached things. They're just here and they're here to die or something. It's definitely going to be explained as to what these things
are. The BTs are the demons?
No, the BTs are the shadow things. And what's in the goo.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's almost like what if they're beached from another dimension? Yeah. Interesting.
And even all the crabs in the trailers we see are pregnant also.
How do you know that?
Because you can see their eggs on them. Yeah, it's very interesting, and what that and we get a bunch of scenes on. We get a bunch of scenes on beaches. It has to, there's definitely correlation
for sure.
And I think that was really cool. Also, we talked about it. There's paradimensional shit going on. We see shots of World War I. We see World War II soldiers in the last trailer. It looks like.
So it's almost what if time is even...
It's resurrecting Vietnam era level people, and it's just what the fuck is going on? And he has something to do with it, clearly, but it's just we don't really know what this dimension is, and it seems it's almost time is retelling itself, but it's just
overlapping with the new stuff or something.
Sorta? Yeah. It's so... I think it's so hard to even explain, to even try to figure out, but
Question for you.
Sure.
Do you think this game will ever be as fun as it is to theorize about?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think a lot of this stuff will get explained.
No,
I think, yeah. I really do. I think a lot, it's not gonna just they're not gonna not explain these things.
No, it's not even that. I don't even think, I'm not even saying that they won't explain it. But do you think the explanation will even be as fun as just sitting here for hours and dissecting all these different trailers and all that stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm very curious. Not that I think it will do bad or anything. I just don't know. Is this going to be a very well sold game? Not even reviewed. Like
sold? Hell yeah.
You think so?
Oh,
How well did Metal Gear Solid 5?
Really well.
Really well?
Really fucking well.
Because I don't remember
you can look up
specific.
the numbers if you want.
Yeah.
I'm actually. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah, I do.
Look them up. I'm curious to see how much MGS5 made. I know it made a lot of money, and it reviewed like well in some eyes and not well in others. And even MGS5 kind of has that type of story where like you don't really know what's going on, and then at the end you figure it out. But also that game had troubled development, and there's a bunch of drama behind it.
And again,
this game is not going to have that.
And again, I think like that the gameplay on that's so fucking good.
Yeah.
That's why I just hope this game isn't so not understandable to me as it was like with Metal Gear Solid, and I'm just fixated on the gameplay. But hey, if the gameplay is that good and I don't give a fuck again, I guess I really don't have anything to complain
I brought it up before, but Higgs, the BBs, the Bridge Babies, and Cliff have something to do with Death Stranding. As to what, we don't know. Higgs is Troy Baker. Cliff is Mads Mikkelsen. I think it's just easier to say the actors' names at this point. We've also heard of a mechanic called a Void Out, which is a death mechanic. And we actually see this in the trailer, and it's probably not very obvious what's going on. What are the numbers?
So... This is on Reddit, so this would be total bullshit. From what
this is on the internet, regardless. It could be total
From what
bullshit.
I remember reading about on the internet, they made a net profit of about $211 million. Like you said, though, that report was from a couple of years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's more now, considering it costs about $80 million to make. I'd say that's a pretty hefty profit, although in their eyes, I'm not sure they feel it was worth the investment.
Well, Konami, yeah.
Konami.
Yeah, that's coming from
Sure.
That seems right. Yeah.
So I'm curious how much.
I think it'll make a lot of money. It's a PlayStation.
I'm wondering how much how much did like a God of War make or like a Spider-Man make? And now I'm curious.
You can just look it up. You can hold off on talking about Void Outs for a minute.
Yeah, sure. How much
it's a good question.
Spider-Man PS4.
I was like, don't just do Spider-Man. You'll be tapping into a lot of veins of that.
And then Death Stranding is an exclusive, is it not?
Death Stranding is a PlayStation exclusive, yes.
How much sells a record? Okay, so this is 3.3 million copies. So you did not provide any official with a new title. The game, 3.3 million copies, roughly translates to about $198 million, crushing the 117 million opening box office weekend for the movie. Okay, so yeah, that seems about for Metal Gear Solid.
I think this is going to be a profit for Sony, for Kojima.
Oh, I'm not even worried about it being.
I think however this game reviews, it's going to be a profit.
Sure,
it's going to do well.
I think it's definitely drummed up enough interest in that respect too. But continue.
So going back to the Void Out. So in the trailer for E3 last year, one of the characters who we don't know because we just heard his voice and we don't have voices to some of the characters just yet. He's like, if you get eaten by those things, you'll trigger a Void Out and you'll come back, sure, but like what's left is just going to be a crater. So if you die, you come back in the lore, in the mechanics of the game, and where you die, you create a crater, which we do see. Because, like, when in the trailer with the guy aging and stuff, like, there's that big thing and it blows up.
Yeah.
And Sam dies. He falls into this water, has this, like, the baby's in his mouth, and, like, there's these little, like, cryptobites flying up, and, like, all this shit's going on, and you're underwater, and then you wake up, and you're alive, and there's a big crater.
Yeah.
So... that's going to play, obviously, like, I think, into Death Stranding. I'm also into the gameplay, and...
Because then you'd be altering the terrain. And then so if you die somewhere...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? Like, how's it going to play into the gameplay?
What if you do that all over the map? What if you die... Yeah, like it's just craters all everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and what does dying mean?
Yeah, what does that do? Like, what does that actually...
Like, what is dying?
What do you lose things? Do you, like, what does that even, like...
Kojima confirmed you do lose things, but you can retrieve them. So it's kind of like Dark Souls.
You don't want to lose that body that you were carrying across the fucking landscape.
Or all those fucking boxes.
Yeah, whatever.
I like how goofy...
No, it is. It does look good. He's just shoveling along with a body on his back. Like, trying to get up the hill.
But yeah, and like how he falls in the river and he's like, ugh, like life preservation thing, and like the box is like floating down the river. It's kind of like it's serious, but like I kind of like how
it's interesting. Like it's like you're imagine you're playing this game, you truck along, you get knocked into a river, you're like, God damn it, my package, it's floating down the river, I gotta go get it. Like, God.
So again, we could probably talk about these high level concepts for a while, but that's kind of what I've written down.
Sure.
Just from my experiences. Might not be everything, but, you know, it's kind of...
Sure.
This game is a lot to digest. So, we're going to talk about characters, because I think, like, every character is somebody very, like, noteworthy, and also probably is, you know, like, a decent story presence enough to talk about. So, our protagonist, Sam Porter Bridges, played by Norman Reedus, and if you've seen The Walking Dead...
Is his name Sam Porter Bridges?
Yes. Is his full name.
So,
the company is called Bridges,
yes. So, do you think he's related to the owner at all?
Yeah, something to do with
it. Yeah.
Played by Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl in The Walking Dead. He's also in the Boondock Saints.
Yes, that was one of his, those are his
Boondock
ones.
Saints is like one of his first
movies, yeah.
He's also, you know the song Judas by Lady Gaga?
Yeah,
he's in that music video for that song.
Classic Norman Reedus.
So he is our protagonist. He's first named by, fully named by Fred Gile in the E3 2018 trailer.
Fragile.
Yeah, that is Lea Seydoux' character. He's a delivery man or a courier. That's his job. She calls him the man who delivers, so literally he is a delivery man.
Delivering those bodies or boxes, whatever you need.
He works for Bridges and Porter, and the reason I put Porter in quotes is because in one of the trailers, he's wearing an outfit that says Porter on it. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So it's represented by the different suits. You see him in a lot of different looks throughout all the trailers. He's wearing that blue suit, the gray suit,
you
the orange
assume
suit.
You will have full autonomy over what you're wearing.
And I assume that has something to do with the customization, which Kojima's talked about because there's one he has glasses, he's wearing a hat.
I was going to say, I'm curious, like, if any of that, like, you'll need a certain type of suit to go into a certain area, if it's toxic or something like that. I bet
that's a mechanic.
Yeah.
Or maybe you need a certain upgrade on the suit.
Exactly. Yeah. You have different loadouts for maybe different situations that you keep on you. Yeah.
So, he's related to Bridget / Amelia. So that's Lindsay Wagner's character, the either the young version of her or the old version of her, who's the president. Okay. Bridget is the president. Did I say Amelia? I meant Emily. Emily is the younger version, and they're two different characters.
Interesting.
Emily is definitely some cerebral thing. Bridget is a real person. From what I can understand, he has to be related to one of them in some sort of way.
Sure.
And the relationship is his wife, and maybe his wife's mother, or deceased wife, deceased sister, something. Like, there's a connection between them.
Makes sense. Yeah, they know each other.
So he can sense BTs, but he can't see them. Also, Fred Gile talks about like his doom levels being lower than hers, and his him having an extinction factor, whatever that means. It's probably some gameplay lore mechanic we don't know too much about yet.
Dude, you gotta fill up your dooms.
He's like, yeah, your dooms. He's like, your dooms are lower than mine. I was like, yeah, I have the extinction factor. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Can you speak English, please? Thank you.
So next up, we got Cliff, played by Mads Mikkelsen. You may know him from Casino Royale. Polar, Hannibal. He's been in a lot of shit.
Did you watched Polar?
Yeah, I did.
What a fucking weird ass movie.
It's Mads Mikkelsen is like a typecast kind of character, but he just doesn't. Really
works. He works in that. It's not on him. It's just the whole movie was just I was like, what am I? When he's sleeping and the dog's barking, and he just wakes up and shoots the dog out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Anyways, go watch Polar.
Oh shit.
He's like, not again or something. So this has happened before. He's killed other dogs. Stop taking from dogs. Anyways, I digress.
He seems to be some sort of antagonist. We don't really know.
Sure.
And there also seem to be two versions of him. One seems to be the real person, and one of them seems to be a cerebral version of him, he in the goo and resurrecting the soldiers.
Goo.
The goo.
What is it?
So he's connected to the phenomenon of Death Stranding, the other side, and as well as Higgs, it seems to be Troy Baker's character. Two versions of the character: shorter hair, normal, talking to a bridge baby at the end of the one trailer. The black goo represents Death Stranding, controls undead troops on the other side. Okay,
gotta love it.
Naked with a when you get a C-section, it's how do you say? Cesarean scar? Is it cesarean?
I think so.
It's I know what it is, but he has a.
It's if you don't know, it's
like Norman Reedus' character in the Cheezer trailer. He has a C-section scar, and he's covered in goo and also glows, and he smokes. Kojima.
Hey, they can't. No more.
Kojima talked about literally. This is what his thinking behind why he smokes. He goes, Mads Mikkelsen was smoking a lot on set, so I made his character smoke. I was like, that is just awesome.
I'm waiting for the fucking FDA or whatever to come. Like, hey, you can't have any smoking in this.
Stranger Things and Gears.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, grow up. I don't know.
Be an adult and tell your kids just not to smoke.
I feel like we're above that. I'm like, this is kind of it's not like...
It's almost more of a learning experience now.
Is Gears of War being shown to your children?
Yeah, what is yours?
Anyway. Next we got Fragile, played by Leah Seydoux, who's Inspector, as well as some other things. But she's not
Is she the older one? Or she's that's the other chick.
Yeah, the younger girl who actually is young in real life.
Okay. Is she the one that eats the bug or something? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So there's the own of Fragile Express, which seems to be the company. She's a delivery woman and a career occupation as well. She's targeted by the Homo Demons, which is Higgs's group, who we'll talk about later. And yeah, I talked about her dooms again, but we kind of already covered that. She's
gotta keep those doom levels up.
Next up, we got.
What about her midichlorians though? Are they good?
We don't talk about that.
All right, fine.
Next up, we got Mama, who's played by Margaret Qualley, who is from The Leftovers and Nice Guys. I don't know who she plays in Nice Guys.
Is she younger or older?
She's younger.
Is she she's not the kid in it? No, she's got
to be
20s,
probably something around our age, maybe a little older.
Maybe she plays the one that. Did you ever see The Nice Guys? Have you ever seen it? First off, watch that.
I know
Great
you
movie.
have. That's why
it's a fantastic movie. I'm trying to think of which one she would be. Anyways, just continue.
Google it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So she's a scientist. She has something to do with contacting the BTs, and she has something to do with the creation of the BTs. Very unknown about who her character actually is. With the most recent trailer, that's the first look of her we got. We don't know much though. Yeah, you've Google her. Go ahead before I move on.
Okay, yeah, it's her. All right, it's like the.
Is she a kid?
She's like a teenager-ish.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be a teenager in that movie.
Yeah, she's in cahoots with Kojima, so she's already ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, no big deal.
Next up, we got Dead Man, who's played by Guillermo del Toro. Obviously, he's done Pan's Labyrinth.
So he's not actually played by him.
He is not. It's not actually voiced or played by him.
So, but it's just his likeness. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
So all we know is he has a scar along his forehead, which is kind of weird, and he's affiliated with Bridges because he wears Bridges pins. No, it's all right. Next up, we got Hartman, which is played by Nicholas Winding Refn, who is a writer-director. He directed Drive 2.
He directed Drive?
Yeah. Huh. So his newest series, which Kojima is in, is Too Old to Die Young, which is on Netflix. And on his IMDb, Only God Forgives is one of his top things, so I just wrote it down.
Drive is a good movie. I enjoy that movie.
So he's affiliated with Bridges. He wears a life gauge handcuff. And that's kind of it. We don't really know who the fuck he is either. And I don't think he's voiced by him as well. I think it's just his likeness. Okay. Yeah, because him and Kojima are boys. They're actually doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con because they're boys.
Wait, they're boys?
They're boys. That's what Kojima does with his boys. He just does things like Jeff. He's just like, hey Jeff, let's get dinner.
Let's go grab dinner.
Let's get dinner.
Yeah, it's weird how you go out to dinner with your friends. I don't get it. I don't usually do that.
Next up is Die Hardman, who is played by Tommy Earl
That
Jenkins.
Is his name. Die Hardman.
Yeah. That's his code name.
Okay. I really hope that's his full legal name.
He could have a name, but there's a lot of code names. Like
this is definitely this is for sure reminding me of Metal Gear in that respect.
Yeah. So he's a voice actor pretty much. He's been in Guild Wars 2, Pillars of Eternity 2. He's in Fallout 76 as well. Seems to be a pretty small time voice actor, and he does some plays from what I could figure out from the internet. He's a commander of Bridges. He wears a mask.
That's the gold mask guy, right? Or no, he's not in a gold mask.
It's like a black mask.
Skull mask, yeah.
Yeah. His mask says Ludens on it, and Ludens is Kojima Productions' mascot. That guy with the flag.
The Homo Ludens.
And the suit.
Yeah, and the skull face.
And Kojima's on record saying that mascot guy has nothing to do with Death Stranding, but I beg to differ.
That could just be his
it could
just be a little reference that he put in, but it also could have something really to do with it. Yeah.
Next up, we got Higgs, played by none other than Troy Baker. You know him from BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4.
Mostly any game you play.
He's very good point. He is definitely an antagonist. He's the leader of the group Homo Demons, which means madman in Latin. He's referred to as the man in the golden mask, who you just talked about. He has an interest in the Death Stranding. So his group and him have an ancient Egyptian pharaoh aesthetic going on. Whether it's the stripes going down his uniform. There seems to just be like a pharaoh aesthetic, an Egyptian aesthetic going on, which I love.
Interesting.
He has a tattoo above his eye, which is a formula. I don't think everyone, based on a shot, it's half of a formula.
Yeah.
There's black goo. Well, Higgs is also
doesn't his mask disappear?
He takes it off.
He just takes it. Why am I? What am I?
You know what the Higgs boson and Higgs formula are, right?
No.
They're a formula. Higgs boson is like a particle.
Oh, gotcha.
But there's obviously some reference there.
Gotcha. Scientific references.
He also has the black goo coming out of his eye.
Of course, black goo eye. Get that
he's
checked out.
He's interested in Emily because he steals her, and he steals her necklace. And he's shooting at Sam, and he has her on his shoulder. He attacks Sam and Fragile. He opposes bridges and the United Cities of America, and I just wrote Higgs boson or Higgs field reference. There has to be something to do with it if he has a formula on his face.
Makes sense.
Just my thinking. And last but not least, we have Bridget / Emily, played by Lindsay Wagner, who is known for being the Bionic Woman in the 1970s show.
Of course.
The
classic. 2
characters played by Wagner. Emily, who is young, Bridget, who is old, representing her now.
That threw me off. I was like, why are you saying Emily? It's Emily. No.
It's they say it Emily.
That makes sense.
Emily is targeted by Higgs and Homo demons. The necklace has some sort of significance. She also cries blood at one point. Bridget is the President of the United States of America. She is also hospitalized in the Oval Office.
So it's interesting to think that the United States still sort of exists.
To some degree, yes.
In some
but the United, and now they're calling it United Cities of America, and the emblem is the U.S., but there's a stamp
it looks like spider webs,
and the spider web going out. So there has to be some sort of corporation that is either co-opted the government or something like that. Something has happened.
Yeah, you definitely can see a lot of inspiration. I like the inspirations he's taken just from these. Not post. What's the one that I'm looking for? The words that like the Hunger Games almost was that type of future. What is that called?
Post-apocalyptic.
I don't think it's post. There's a certain word for it that I can't remember, and I'm going to remember after we stop podcasting. But it's very cool, and I like this idea of this fractured kind of civilization that is trying to move on and trying to reconnect. I like the paranormal and different
reconnecting is also a big theme. The fact that it's either Emily or Bridget. I think it's Emily. It's talking about how we as humans are meant to be together
and connect to connect.
And talking about this top level shit, and I'm just.
And it seems whatever catastrophe has happened has almost rendered even cell phones, whatever, any type of communication device has been almost fucked. Because you just what caused everyone to just be nah, fuck it, we're not even the United States anymore. This, you got what's the city called? They're we're going to be our own thing.
Edge Knot City.
Edge Knot City's nah, fuck you, we're not part of the United States. It seems what is this
and
cataclysm that happened?
The Homo demons are terrorists. We don't know what they're really...
Almost even, who knows, maybe even a mercenary group of... it's interesting. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I like the inspiration.
So the game's coming out this year, November 8th, 2019.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Did you think next gen? Or did you just think not, at least just not this year? When was it announced? 4 years ago?
2015, I think.
Okay, yeah, so about 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it technically was probably in development for maybe 3.5.
Before that, you think?
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we first announced it, he was making it, but not he didn't.
He was still very. Yeah, I was about to say he was
that teaser was just an out of engine thing he put together to show off that he was making a new game.
Did you watch the off topic a little bit here the documentary on God of War? Yeah.
No, not yet.
They were talking about that and how that.
Well, they're
that
talking
demo,
about Kojima?
the demo that they threw out was the first thing they had. They had none of the other game complete.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. They basically built the whole rest of the game after showing that. I'm
yeah.
What?
That's what a lot of them do.
Bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, look at Anthem. I think going off Jason Schreier's thing, Anthem, half the game was built after that teaser, and they were talking about concepts they hadn't even thought out.
And a month beforehand, they were is it Anthem? Yeah, we're calling it Anthem.
Yeah, the name change and pretty wild shit.
I mean, you do need someone.
I hope
with
they
the
make
right
a
head
documentary about the making of it, because
I'd be surprised if
believe
EA
it or not, Kojima Productions is an independent studio.
Yeah.
They are not owned by anyone.
They're not owned by Sony?
No.
Interesting. But they have a contract with them to do exclusive games, though, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought they did
help
them,
Insomniac is a great example of a company who... They're a second-party company.
Yeah.
Because they've done both.
Sure.
Like, they've been exclusive on PlayStation, but, like, they've also done a game on Xbox.
They did... What was the one they did?
Overstrike?
I can't think of it either.
It was a huge flop.
It was the one that it released... It was, like, the rail riding one. Like, they're in the city, and it's, like, mutants. Is that them? Not... It's the one that came out with Xbox.
Oh, no. Yeah, they did make Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. And that was an exclusive. Yes, they did make Sunset Overdrive.
I was like, what is it called?
Yeah. There's another one. It's called Overstrike or something.
Sure.
And it was like a squad third person shooter game.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got my collector's edition. I'm gonna get a BB and carry it around.
How much is the collector's?
I don't know. It was like $250.
All right, the BB. Oh, it comes with a BB.
Yeah, baby.
You're just gonna have a fetus sitting on your shelf.
I was like, what a conversations piece. What
no,
the
it really
fuck
is. Hey,
that?
Gooch, what's going on over there? No, don't worry, it's fake. I realize that, but why do you have it? Listen, let me tell you about a thing called the Death Stranding here. Let me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like if you know me or like follow me or whatever, I've drank Kojima's Kool-Aid like to the
You're a fan
degree. I'm down with whatever this game is going to be, and I probably like it. I don't think there's a reason
That's
voice
fair.
crack. I need water.
It's all right.
I don't think there's a reason I would dislike this game.
Sure.
I'm fucking about it, and I think I understand it on like a pretty like high level as well as a surface level. I think like it's pretty easy to understand what the gameplay is, and maybe what's going on. Obviously, everything else is like very high level shit. But I'm fucking ready, and I hope I've explained what Death Stranding is, and
what it could be.
Our conversations have kind of like maybe shed some light on what this game is gonna be, because we're gonna get it this year, and probably gonna definitely review it.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna get it. I'm intrigued enough, and I think it all looks different yet familiar in some respects. But I'm excited.
Only Kojima could do a game like this. He's the only person who could assemble this type of cast. Not even just Troy Baker, but Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, Lee Seydoux, like all these people, all these really like influential people in Hollywood, to some degree, are in this game, and like no other company, no other person could do that.
I don't even know if it's even the thing about could. It's even want. Like he's the guy you see. He's the guy who's wanted. He's loved movies, and you can tell how much he's drawn from that.
When you were talking about Kojima's references to Mad Max, I forgot to I was going to mention it, but I think you were just going off about something, so I kind of forgot. Kojima used to want to direct movies. Yeah, like that's what he started wanting to do, and it's very
evident in the way he creates a game.
Yeah, because you can see that even with MGS5, with Kiefer Sutherland being cast as Snake.
100%.
Was like essentially like he loves 24 and he loves Kiefer, so essentially like got him to play Snake.
I mean, they used to have like 2-hour cutscenes in some of those games, right?
MGS4 is like the ending of it alone. The cutscene is like an hour and a half. It's like, but that just that shows you how much he does want to focus on more of the narrative aspect rather than the gameplay. But the thing is, he doesn't fuck up the gameplay, because we know that, especially with Metal Gear. Yeah,
the gameplay's so tight and solid.
There were some complaints going from like 2 to 3, I think. But like I think most of the MGS games, like their gameplay is like very like widely liked. I don't think I could think of like a few examples that like really negatively like everyone like does not like. But,
sure.
Yeah, I mean MGS is like a cup of tea. You either fucking are ingesting that shit like it's nothing, or
you're about it.
You're like maybe sipping on it or not having it all.
Yeah, I sipped on it for a few months. Couldn't take the whole drink though. It's just too much. But is there anything else, Coach?
That's pretty much it, man. I can't wait to review this game.
I'm excited too. It should be good. Yeah, we for sure will.
November 8th. Get your pre-order up.
What else comes out? So would that be a November review, do you think, or December?
I have no idea. Another question is, how long is this game?
That's another thing. Is it going to be like a Red Dead type thing where we think we can...
I don't think it's going to be that
long.
Definitely not. I don't think the Red Dead is like an open world on another level. I don't think Death Stranding is going to be that open world.
Interesting. What else comes out in November?
Of course we're on the... you're asking me this on the spot.
I'm sorry. Here, no, let's... I'm curious, because I know we have... What's it called? In September is the Jedi, right? Fallen Order?
Fallen Order, Borderlands 3, and The Outer Worlds are all in September.
Oh
Yeah,
I might not get Borderlands 3.
It's a stacked goddamn
that's
year. It is so stacked.
I'm so pumped for the Outer Worlds.
It's so
I
stacked.
really am. Jesus, and that's only in September?
Yeah.
Holiday game.
Oh, sorry, Gears 5. Oh my god, there's so many games!
Yeah, that's fucking insanity. Holiday game releases. 20...
Game Informer usually has a list.
So this is on stuff. Holiday 2018. Come on.
Just look up...
Most anticipated games.
Look up video game release schedule 2019. Game Informer always has one.
Gotcha. Video game release schedule.
Dude, this year is packed. And it already has been packed. Like is Death Stranding going to be Game of the Year for Kingdom Hearts 3 for me? I don't know. It's a very good question. It is going to be a tight race this year for Game of the Year, just between what we already have.
So what has already come out?
So Sekiro, Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. Let me move so I can see what's on my shelf over here. That's pretty much. That's pretty much all that's come out. Kingdom Hearts 3.
So far, I didn't at least for me, there hasn't been anything.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
really
Sekiro are big. They're definitely gonna be. I feel like on
Gears 5, Legends of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Apparently, is getting released on Switch.
Yeah.
FIFA 20. Okay, so yeah, and then when is Jedi Fallen Order?
It's September, I think.
Is it?
Maybe I'm wrong.
It's not. And then the Outer Worlds is... Where's the Outer Worlds?
It's the 13th or the 11th, something like that.
December 13th, Destiny 2. I'm not seeing it.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, I think they're just add-ons.
So October, Modern Warfare. Oh, the Outer Worlds is on...
It's October. Good.
You
cool.
fucker.
Yeah.
You don't know shit.
I never said I did. You're the one who doesn't know shit.
So, Doom Eternal and Death Stranding are in November. They're a week apart. Shenmue 3 is also coming out. December.
Okay, that's not a lot in November then, actually. I think.
It's really September and October that a lot's coming out. Dude, I really want to see what's going on with Modern Warfare. Yeah. I would love to review that game.
Yeah,
because from what I've heard, it's just gonna be awesome. But we're getting off topic.
Why is it gonna? I guess
because it's so they're taking more of we're gonna tell a really realistic politically driven
story I don't care about.
Dude, that's what's pulling me in.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's I never played the last story.
Boots on the ground,
think I played.
That's what it's about. Boots on the ground.
I think the last Call of Duty campaign I played fully might have been Black Ops 2.
So no, the campaign they're trying to do imagine MW2's campaign, Modern Warfare 2 campaign with no Russian. They're doing that sort of thing where they're trying to hit some points, not to make a political statement, but just make it
show you what war is.
Yeah,
this is what war
that's what it's about. But we didn't see any gameplay at E3. We haven't heard about this game, but they don't need to release it.
I was gonna say they don't. That's we're
getting a multiplayer reveal in August, though.
I mean, I can't imagine they're gonna insanely change the multiplayer, but
no. But I think I'm just for the first time
you're I'm looking at
looking to be my cup of tea, and it might be my return to the franchise.
It's funny.
I would love to just review it because we haven't reviewed a Call of Duty ever, and none of us play Call of Duty in years, but some of our friends do. So.
I mean, one thing I got to say, Apex has been scratching my first-person itch so well that I just haven't even thought about even.
Dude, but that's what I want. I could go for just a modern FPS. I really could.
Some team deathmatch, some domination.
Not even that, but the weapons are
sure, just
are
modern
arsenal. That's what I mean by modern FPS.
I agree.
But yeah, dude, I can't wait to just review games this fall and
should be a good time.
Maybe
September is going to be the interesting fucking thing to. I guess we'll just keep.
I'd rather just review games at this point. What's even coming out this year? We're really off topic. We'll on this podcast in a minute. Don't worry,
guys. Joker's in October. I would like to review that, but
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll fucking see. Not if I have anything to say about
Joker, and then there's definitely another movie. I don't know. Anyways, I think that's covered us. Anything else, Gooch, on Death Stranding? Is that it for you?
No. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Awesome.
It is.
Cool. Thank you all so much. If you've been watching on Twitch, we really do much appreciate it. You can find us on our... Let me restart that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've been watching on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Delco Network. It's amazing. We love it. You can find us on our podcasts on demand over at YouTube. Just search Delco Nerd Network, as well as most podcast services. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think, both the good and the bad. It always helps us out. Be sure to like our Facebook page, Twitter, as well as Instagram. All this info can be found on our website, www.delconerdnetwork.com. And yeah, that's it for Gooch. I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.